knowingly interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Remember his apology. At the time when he knew what we knew, at a time when people were fleeing, at a time when he had no other option, he sought to keep his small support near him, and he made two important statements in that video apology. He said, "I have intimidated women, and I have not respected them." For purposes of the claim that will come forward and potentially the lawsuits, the mayor has already admitted violating the sexual harassment policy. For anyone standing behind me who believes he needs due process, an admission of guilt is more than due process. And perhaps because he didn't have counsel at the time, but for whatever reason, those were the words that came out of his mouth. Those are the words that we know to be true. He has sexually harassed women. He has admitted to it. He has not respected women, and he does not deserve to be the mayor of this city any longer.
Due process!
Due process! Make a police report!
Prove it. Due process for all American citizens.
Yeah, due process. How come no police report? Just the attorney.
You have to take due process.
Police report. Police report and district attorney. Name.
If it's true that I believe it's hearsay, the mayor is getting
no proof. Take it to school to court.
It's not due process. Take it to court.
Final comment.
Prove it.
As I mentioned, there will be a sexual harassment claim filed. But you must understand, when you file a claim against the highest level of CEO in the biggest company in town, there are certain measures that must be taken. This isn't something that is investigated by someone who reports directly to Bob. This is something that will have to go to other authorities, and it may not happen tonight and tomorrow. And the decision whether to file lawsuits into taxpayers for millions of dollars for the harm that these people have felt has not yet been made. But I will tell you this, we stand before you with about as much evidence as we would ever need to take this grand step, and I would urge every person in this city who believes what we've said to call on the mayor to resign.
Marco, you say the mayor has made incriminating statements in his apology, and yet he also said in that apology that an independent investigation would prove him innocent of sexual harassment.
That's right.
He said
That's
that.
right. That's what he said.
I think we need to be clear, and frankly, this is something that was very evident when Donna and I met with Bob. When confronted with allegations, his MO is to say and do whatever he needs to try to appease the person making the claim right then and right there. When we sat in his office, he promised to get
I'm literally right behind these guys.
He promised that he didn't understand that what he had done was wrong. And yet, he admitted that he did it. And in one statement on one day, he says, "I apologize for treating women without respect. I apologize for intimidating them." And the very next day, he says, "I'm innocent." What does that tell you?
Yeah.
You said that sexual harassment is illegal.
There are no exceptions.
Accusations. Do you see them as possible crimes? And if so, why haven't you gone to police?
Yeah.
Right.
That's where no police, no
attorney. Due process.
Let's go to court.
Justice.
Nice if we could hear what everybody else is saying.
The goal of myself, Donna, and Corey was to not have to go there.
There's no
And as I
exception.
mentioned that
exception.
earlier-
We're going. No exception.
Excuse me.
A bunch of rude people here.
Our goal was to not have to go there. And it was our goal when we stood before you on Wednesday, but we told you the mayor would write the next chapter. And when the mayor issued his statement on Friday, after admitting to guilt, and he then claimed innocence, he wrote the next chapter, and this is it. And I will tell you right here, standing before you, this is part of the next chapter. Regardless of what the mayor does from here on out, short of resigning, we will do what we need to do, whether it is criminal, civil, or administrative, to ensure that this gets resolved.
Marco, why did you not go through the proper process?
Constitution of the state of California.
Yeah, due process court. Court,
State of California.
dual process. Dual process.
Constitution of the state of California.
Is large part up to the client. We have Marco and Corey, our attorney.
I'm literally right behind these guys, literally 5 feet away.
Agreement of the of their client.
He's gonna have to prove it.
If it's true, then
the client is the one who directs the action.
Oh, this one wants to get let me go.
So
How much time do you give the man to
has come out
respond?
today and says that he will not resign.
Do you think that it's going to have to take these women in order for him to resign? Because he says he's not going to do it.
I believe that Bob Filner admitted in his tape statement sexual harassment. I hope that you do not have to file, that the attorneys do not have to file litigation. That is not the goal. The goal is to get these women assistance and to help them heal.
The goal is to bring down the government.
The goal is to make sure that these women have a safe place, that they're able to get some help, that they have the ability to go into a healing process without having to go through a public spectacle against the strongest, most official person in the city of San Diego, and that's our mayor.
After all these cases, he said, she said.
To employ them to make these complaints. Why are they coming to outside people like yourselves who are speaking for them? Why didn't they go through the proper process and all this started?
That's right. Just like everything else.
You want results immediately. The process is playing out.
Can you tell us if you're
No,
representing
they didn't answer the question. Why didn't they go to their immediate supervisor and go up the chain of command?
Look around. Look around. Read the message boards, the story that came out in the Reader, and let's how people react. When you go forward as a woman who has been sexually harassed, the questions are, what do you look like? What were you wearing? What was your role? These women are doing a very courageous thing, and this process is playing out now.
The mayor said
These officials,
Nobody cared.
these are women who have been supporters of Bob for a long time. And these are women who recognize the personal, political, and other ramifications of making these claims. They sought out insiders who had relationships with Bob Filner, who they believed could speak with Bob. And we did. And his response was unacceptable.
Marco, the mayor said that he wants to approach and apologize to these alleged victims. Are your clients going to allow that to happen?
I don't know. If he steps down,
blocking my view here. They're blocking our view. We can't be seen by the cameras.
Can you tell us how many women you're representing, how many clients?
No.
In a statement today, the mayor said that he expects and is entitled to due process. If he does not step down, and at this point he doesn't appear that he's leading in that direction, what will be your next step? And will you file a criminal complaint?
We've already answered that question, Artie. Let's move on.
There's what about the he said, she said? After these cases, it's always the situation.
Money from the city for breaking the
In every circumstance that allegations occur in private, you get a he said, she said. One he said, she said. It's telling. Two he said, she said is telling. We know of multiple circumstances, all of which are consistent with the modus operandi that we described to you today. The Filner headlock exists. Many people have seen it. The Filner dance exists, and it has for a decade or more.
There is no provision in the judicial system for determining innocence and guilt in a press conference. Why are you willing to let him get away with just stepping down?
We are not saying what would happen if the mayor stepped down. What we are saying is he needs to step down now. What happens after that, as I said, is a script that is yet to be written, that is largely in the hands of the mayor and our clients.
Due process!
Due process. We're ready to go to court. Bring the women.
Go get yourself a press conference.
No comment.
Marco, you before you've made a lot of money suing this city over
Says
the
who?
years. Well, you keep asking for money for the fireworks.
I'm not going to entertain that response. If this was about money, I guarantee you there would have been a lawsuit filed a long time ago. If anyone standing before us in the press corps, if anyone out in the citizenry thinks this is about money, I feel bad for them.
And I just want to say one thing to everybody standing here today. I just want to ask you all, every single person standing here today, have you ever personally heard from anybody about this behavior? Have any of you?
No.
No. Any of you?
Never.
Have any of you had women come up to you and tell you their stories and tell you they are too afraid to speak?
Never.
Never.
The only thing I've seen is how they act with us
You know the
as
answers to
citizens.
why we're doing
And
this.
it's disrespectful.
Donna, the bottom line is the mayor says he's not going to resign.
Get it? You know what the
Knowing
word
he knows
no
about what you're
means?
going to
No.
say, he says he's not going to
You'll have
resign.
your chance when we're done,
What do you
please.
do now?
We are not going to be discussing the client strategy.
Marco, what's your reasoning for not?
I'm literally right up in it. Behave yourself.
The women who have come forward as much as I can at all junctures. And part of that is to not give those of you in the press the opportunity to start checking off boxes. I think when we've already seen what happens. We've already seen the witch hunt. We've already heard what people say and do when women come forward. We're going to protect every one of these women who does not want to come forward, and as much as we're going to fight for every woman who does.
I think you create that reason by putting this in the public.
No, let me say something to you, sir, because I am really getting tired of your line of questioning. Let me say, with all due respect, Bob Filner caused this problem. Bob Filner is the problem, not these women for not coming forward. Bob knows exactly what he did. The people around him know what he's been doing. The people up in that office know what he's been doing. The people in the press know what he's been doing. So don't look at me and make those kind of comments.
How did you even know while you were on the city council?
Don't make them about
When I found out, you want to start blaming people for not coming forward. Let me tell you something, sir. The moment, the second, the instant, I had credible evidence from an account, from a
I'm
victim,
literally right behind her.
firsthand, I came forward.
I'm sorry, sir.
Don't look at me like that.
You're being nice. Come on.
We're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
You should have brought the victims with you, Donna.
Go ahead, here's the microphone.
You should have brought the
Very disappointing, Donna. I really like you. I love you, Donna.
Victim right now.
victims.
Yeah, exactly.
Due process can't be a victim here either.